Hey guys, it's Jenny Adams. I know some of you are under the impression that Usborne was mainly for children. It was a children's book. They had great board books you knew about, and maybe for your little nieces and nephews. But I wanted to tell you that this is also a great company for kids all the way through high school, even maybe yourself. So I pulled some of the books from my collection just to show you, so you could learn about how you may be able to help your older child, whether it's middle school, high school. I homeschool my daughter and use some of these books, so I just wanted to share some of the things. This is actually one of the first books that I got that was Usborne. I had this in my homeschool curriculum. It actually came with it. I love it because it has QR codes. So we're reading through here. We learned about the grasslands. So we're reading, has great information. This is a children's encyclopedia, so the information is a little bit less and has more like labels and things as opposed to paragraphs. But you do this QR code, it goes to the internet, and this internet link will tell you about the grasslands. It may have a video, may have a pictures, but it has something that's going to build your kids' knowledge more about what's on there. This book has over 650. So this is the children's version. It is only $15.99. You cannot beat that. This is the Usborne Science Encyclopedia. This is younger kids, like my daughter's 6. She could use this, but this is also for older kids in high school. This has over 180 QR links. And then there's over 1,000 internet links. So some of them may not have the QR codes, but it has places that you can go to on the internet. So here, we're going to be learning about plant cells. So look, so this is the older version. So this has more paragraphs, explains to you about it. This has a QR code. So you go there and it's going to have a video or something to help explain more about on here. So look at how detailed this is. So your child may be learning about plants, maybe learning about whatever, has table of contents like books do. So you can go through and use this to help your child with science. There's a whole series of those, so I highly recommend those. For your older kids, sticker books are great. I know you're thinking, a sticker book, aren't those for little kids? But these are so good. So your child, we're going to be doing a reading challenge. It's a 2-week reading challenge in June, June 4th through the 17th. You're welcome to join. The goal is for your child to read for 20 minutes every single day. And then someone donates money based on the time that your child reads. So one day your child says, oh, I don't really feel like reading, but they want to get the money. So they pull out this book and say, oh, I'm just going to read this book. You're thinking, oh no, they're not going to get anything out of it. Well, this actually talks about early spacesuits. So it actually has a paragraph explaining about the early spacesuits. Then it has the different spaces for all the spacesuits. It tells about the lunar rover and walking on the moon. So it has details and actual facts. Then you get to go through and have the pictures. It tells you where the pictures should go on the page. So this is page 2 and 3. It explains, follow the numbers and arrows to add the stickers in the right order. So here is Yuri Gagarin's communication cap, the helmet, the gloves. So even within this, you get to learn with stickers. So it's good fine motor skills to take the stickers off. Then they have to figure out where it's going to go in the book. Another thing that I like about these, they're modest. So you're not going to have to worry about, there's all different ones. Some of them are like in the 1920s, how did they dress? And so, or there's sticker books, like doll stickers. They're all very modest. I appreciate that about the books. Planets and solar systems. So this is one of the smaller book series. This is only $1.99. I mean, you can't beat that. Something that you could stick in your purse easy or your child's backpack. And then you go through, and again, your child may think, oh, I'm just going to pick up this teeny book. I only have to read 20 minutes, and I'm just going to get away with it. Well, look at this. There's a lot of information in this book. I love how the format it uses. So it has labels for all of the pictures, and then it seems more manageable to read because look, it's all bulleted. So all of these are great information, but even the way that they display the information makes your child feel like they're not reading as much. It sort of tricks them. There's 31 pages in here for $1.99. Has an index in the back. I mean, great thing to be able to teach your kids about that even. Has a table of contents. $1.99, you can't beat that. Here's a hardback book. These are a little bit more at $4.99. Still has 32 pages in it. So these are books. They're wonderful nonfiction books where your child, this one you're going to get to learn about baby animals. So there's information, but it's not going to feel overwhelming for your child. This may be good for like a kinder through third grader or something that has older siblings that may be learning about animals, and I want to be like my older sibling. Well, this would be great to give them so that they can feel like they're learning the same type of things. It's just going to be more on their level. I love this book, Second World War. There's all sorts of them, like I said. This is another type of sticker book. So I had the idea that I really feel like this would be a great present, maybe even for Father's Day, or give your dad, grandparents, great-grandparents. My husband's grandfather fought in the Second World War. How cool would it be to give this book to him and sit there and read it with your kids? Like, read it to my kids. He would love that. So in this book, again, this is a sticker book. It has information about war in the air. So it has information about all the airplanes. It's very detailed. And then, just like the other sticker book, it has stickers. So here's the Jungle Fighters. It tells you what page to go on, page 12. Tells you where to put it. Has all the details about what's on it. So your grandfather or dad could go through, and maybe they didn't fight in World War II, but they could talk about, oh, well, I fought in such and such war. This is the same. This is different. Or, wow, look at this. So even the pictures, which seems silly, get your child interested. So even this could be a 20-minute reading book. Seems so silly, it's a sticker book. Your kid's going to be thinking, ooh, I'm just playing with stickers. That's fine. They are still learning and reading. There's a whole series of See Inside. This is your body. There's a lot of them that you can look at. So these are so cool. Let's see if I can do it backwards. So you can see inside there. And then it tells you about the inside also. And there's not just one or two. Let's see if I can figure out where to open it. So there's a ton of these. Open and closed. So look at that. There are 15 pages of this. You can see how thick the pages are. They're not going to break. In the back, there's the table of contents for you to use. But how cool to be able to go through and look inside of different things. There's a whole series on this that you can look at. This right here is part of our phonics reading set, Mole in a Hole. So it has a lot of repetitive words, a lot of rhyming words in it. But look, the pictures are so great. Your kids are going to be just so excited to read. And then in here, there's not too many words. So your kids are going to be excited. They're going to like feel successful when they start. They're not going to be overwhelmed and just shut the book and say, I can't do that. This is something that builds their confidence. This is the Big Book series. I just happen to have trains. My boys love trains. They're 2 and 4. So this is good for little kids. But this is also great 20-minute reading. Your child says, I don't want to read today. Okay, that's fine. Just go grab your big book. So they sit down. So look at this. So they're sitting here reading. They think they're just looking at the pictures, but they want to know what this train is. So they say, this LNWR jumbo locomotive pulled an express passenger train, which ran from England to Scotland until 1934. Your child is learning and reading, and they don't even realize it. Then you open this up, and this is my favorite part about these. This is a 4-page spread. I don't think I can even show you in one page. Look at that. And on all of the pages, there's labels all over. So even if your child is looking at this, they're reading, they're interested in the trains, whatever. We have a lot of big books. They're interested in it, wanting to learn, and so they're going to be interested, their level, and learn. This is the first 1,000 words. My daughter is obsessed with Japan. My husband lived there for a few years, and we were blessed and got to go in October, and so she's obsessed. Love these. There's the 1,000 words in Japanese and French and Latin. I know Latin's big, especially in homeschool. So in here, you can go through and it labels different things. So there's the months of the year. There's And this is 2 pages you can see. It labels each of the parts that you can find within here, which is really cool. And then, if you're like me, you might not be able to say the word for grape. Well, you definitely can't read Japanese. But what you can do is you can go to this quick link right here, and you can click on, I'm reading on page 12, and this word, and then it'll read the word for you. How cool is that? We have French, Latin, like I said, all sorts of them. But this would even be a book that your child could look at during their 20-minute reading challenge. Seems like they're going to think, ooh, I'm just looking at pictures, when they are really retaining information. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite books that I got. I used it in my classroom with my 3-year-olds last week. And you're going to be thinking, how is this going to be for my middle school or elementary? Now, middle school, it might be a little too young, but I think this is even good for elementary. So count to 100. Now, first of all, it's just beautiful pages. So my 2- and 4-year-old love looking at this book. They love it. So the pages are thick. So this is something that's going to be sturdy if you're a younger kid want to look at it. So it asks questions. Here are 6 groups of animals with 5 in each group. How many animals are all together? With 5 birds on the branch, how many on this side? How many here? How many all together? So did you notice that that's a word problem that you're probably having to test over on the star, which I know no one enjoys, but this is authentic. If you have 5 birds on each branch, how many birds are on this side and how many on this side and how many all together? That's very authentic. So exciting. There's so many different things you could do with it. All of the birds are different. There's some sleeping. There's some that are standing on the branch, some lying down, some falling, flying. So there's so many. It's almost a seek and find as well. Throughout all of them, right here, there's groups of 5 windows that you count to 50. Love that. And then right here, you count 60 animals under the sea, and then spot a fish with a pirate hat. Can you find a fish wearing a necklace? So even within just counting, there's so much more that you can do. And then the final page, you notice it's over 2 pages. 100. It says, at last it's time to count to 100. Each group of stars except one has 10 stars in it. Which group doesn't? So your child's going to have to look through and see all the constellations and count them and see which one is different. This, I would even count for their 20-minute reading challenge. Seems very silly, and they're going to think, ooh, I'm getting away with this easy book, and they're still getting numeracy and practicing. So I hope I've changed your mind that Usborne books are not just for little kids, that they could be for your older kids too.